Used to think the world was flat, really threw my hat into the crowd. I felt I had used up my quota of yearning.
Hang on, I forgot to remove the Leo from the front of us. Where is it? Yes, we are. Hello, fam.
Hello, fam.
And we are live. And we have the Yona with us today.
Say yo, Yona.
Welcome to Fearlessly Authentic, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. And please remember that we are...
Make sure the echo is off. See the yellow?
I'd like to think that.
All right.
How does that sound, guys?
Hopefully the LSD is worn off now, and
I'd like to think I'm the worst at voguing because normally I'm just like I'm all over the camera shot. I'm fluid like that, you know.
you're just a random voguer. You just strike a pose whichever way.
Woohoo!
All right. So now does it sound good? Does it sound like I have a weird echo on my voice?
I think it's better now. It's better, and it doesn't feel like everybody ate a bunch of mescaline and is tripping in the desert right now.
Yeah, if you have a naked Indian in your dream, I'm not naked. I'm wearing a loincloth. Thank you. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering the loincloth.
So, welcome everybody to Fearlessly Authentic, where we are freaking freedom of speech, and we give people wrenches, so you can also be involved. We dropped the link in the chat so anybody can come in and join us. Even if you don't agree with us, that's when we welcome you to come in and have a conversation. And let's have a real conversation, honest,
Freaking
raw,
talk about it, huh?
what you think and why you think it, because that's what we're here for. And please, everybody, remember, we welcome everybody from our community to come on, whether you know us or not. You're welcome to the family, because this is where we have conversations, we heal together, we work through things, and our own little network of mutual aid. So I think it's a pretty awesome thing that we have here. And, it's because of all of you, and you guys are part of it. And
burritonian is not gender specific.
Yes. And
That's
here
right. That's anybody's pronoun.
is our fearless leader,
Woohoo!
Leo of the Leonidas clan.
He says, you guys are all burritonians.
Of the Burritonian.
And we have another special guest tonight.
Woohoo!
Hey, folks.
Oh yeah.
There's a Charlie Brown noggin.
Hey.
How you doing?
So we got Steve and his voice coming from me.
That's my voice, not hers. Come on.
And we have Yona, and we have Charlie Brown.
The old Burritonian voice trick.
And remember,
Good to see you, Charlie Brown.
Rick Overton has
Good
told
to
us
hear you, brother.
that we are Burritonians. Can you hear Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and get some more light in here. I'll be right back.
Hey, Steve, do a sound check, but I need you to say, I am the great and powerful Oz.
I am the great and powerful Oz.
Oh, I need a heart. I need courage. I need brains.
I think that's what we get here.
Oz, can you help us with that, please?
I pinned our StreamYard link if you want to come in and join us.
That's what you do. Just pin that some bitch right up
We
in
got
there.
Cirrus
Pin it
and
right up on
Yona,
her.
of course, and then you have Dolores. And let's see. Oh, we got Steve Cutler live. Oh my goodness. And we have Birds Will Fly. How are you?
Awful.
And we have Oz all the way from Australia, guys.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
And we have Gamer for Life, our sweetheart. Gamer,
He is our bot assassinator.
Yeah, he's a bot assassinator and like one of the sweetest people I've ever like.
That's awful.
And Gamer went missing, guys. Like, and I freaked out, and I kind of like put this ripple effect through the community.
Yeah, there was like a ripple through the chasm.
I was like,
of the interwebs.
I was like, "Where's Gamer?"
Where's
and then
Gamer?
it like spread. Everyone was like, "Where's
And then, like,
Gamer?"
like Oz and Shandown Raw were like, "Where's Gamer?" And then like Amber was like, "Where's?" And then like other people were like, "Hey, where's that guy?"
That's why. Okay,
See, we
Gamer,
care about you, bro.
you need to put this down somewhere. It's Steve Cutler live at gmail.com. You need to email him.
Yeah.
So that we have your email. And that way, like, just in case, you could be like, hey, I'm going to email you.
Yeah. For like when the whole shit house goes up in storms, we have to have a meetup place, man. You
Yeah,
know?
we need to, like, everybody.
I think it's going to be
needs
somewhere
email.
in Kentucky. It seems like at this point.
On the East Coast, yes.
At least the East Coast part of it.
I remember watching that movie with Steven Seagal, and they were on that train. It was Under Siege 2 was the name of the movie.
Yep.
And the girl, she had like a little tablet, and she was on the train, but she plugged her tablet into the electrical outlet, and she was able to send an email on her tablet. And at the time, it just seemed like so high tech, you know.
Right.
That movie's like really, really old. But anyways,
It's kind of funny because if you think about it, it's literally like her getting a charge off of the train to run her cell phone.
right?
You know, by today's standards, it's like that tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not as cool as it seems.
I made myself a nice mocha coffee thing. So, like, when my coffee gets too cold to, like, you know, like, I'm like, oh, I'm not really a fan of cold coffee.
Yeah.
I will add some hot chocolate, cacao, or whatever in my cup and add some hot liquid. And I make myself a mocha.
It's weird. Me and Lucky are like polar opposites in that respect because I don't like hot coffee. I don't like hot coffee at all. I want ice in it. I want it to be snapping cold. You know, that's my thing. That's how I grew on my coffee.
This is my homemade cold coffee. Just saying.
Yeah, man. Represent.
Can't do it. I don't know what it is about cold coffee. It just flips my stomach up.
Thank you.
I used to I would drink hot coffee
there's different shades
on a hot
of it.
summer day, and people are like, "Are you nuts?"
Yeah, I can't
But
do that.
to be
at all.
fair, my
Even in winter.
special coffee drink has dulce de
Year
leche
round,
and
baby.
caramel and all kinds of stuff in it.
Oh,
So,
fancy. It's bourgeois.
Oh,
I see.
Oh,
Yeah, bougie coffee.
You got that
What's in the
bougie.
coffee?
He just said
Dulce
like a
de
couple
leche. Dulce
bunch
de
of,
leche.
Spanish
It's a Mexican caramel.
Mexican words.
Caramel.
It's fancy for that's Mexican for
caramel.
fancy.
Have you guys seen where chocolate comes from? Has everybody seen that? If you have not, you should look it
People
up.
do not understand the concept of what chocolate is or where it comes
Cacao.
from. People do not understand it at all. Like the process in order to turn that into a
Exactly.
Hershey
That's why I
bar
said
for your
chocolate and
dumbass.
cacao, because people don't like they
It's
don't
gonna-
know what that is.
It's going to involve some carnauba wax and a bunch of fucking gnarly shit that you didn't know you had in your chocolate bar.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I mean,
It's
cacao
vital to
in
maintain your
general,
consistency.
Like, actually, good chocolate though, cacao. It doesn't just like like where does that come from, guys? Because it's not just like this thing. It's a big piece of. I mean, is it considered to be fruit? I would say a fruit, and
It's
then it's
fruit.
got pods inside,
Right.
and then
the
like you have
cocoa
to
bean.
like
It's
get
bean
those
fruit.
open, and it's like fermented and stuff. Like you guys, like seriously, chocolate, like real chocolate, is a special thing.
Oh yeah. Like when I was in Ecuador, they had really, really good homemade chocolate there, And I mean, it ruined me from Hershey bars. Once you've had real chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
PGPR palm oil chocolate just doesn't do it anymore. Sorry.
It's so true.
Is
You're like-
is it just me? Because when I open a Hershey bar and I smell the chocolate, I'm not trying to be gross. It honestly smells like shit to me. Does it ever, like anybody else, get that?
Yeah, that's what the PGPR is, I think.
Yeah. And
Like,
to be fair, if you're like making chocolate, like fermenting it from beans and stuff, it's fermenting. It's literally, decomposing, biochemically decomposing and changing its atomic structure.
But
And that's
I
why
mean,
it tastes the way it
They have
does.
the cutest little dish of gummy bears, guys.
but the cocoa beans are roasted and then grinded and everything. So I mean, it's just fermented a little bit while for the fleshy part to fall off. I mean, that's something that happens in the sunlight when they're dried. But I mean, it's the same thing when they dry out pumpkin seeds, and people eat those.
Exactly. Same thing. Or sunflower seeds or whatever.
It's just the cocoa beans, when they bust out of the pod, they're still like got this milky white.
They're weird.
Yeah,
they
got
like alien pod baby looking things.
They got like a latex kind of quality. Stuff.
Yeah, it was really sad.
I say gamer.
Chief Montezuma, he turned on Hernan Cortez to the cacao bean and chocolate drink, and then Cortez killed him. He smoked his weed. He introduced him to his wife, and he's like, "Ooh, nice wife. I'm going to kill you now and take your wife, and I'm going to drink all your chocolate and smoke all your weed." And that's what he did.
So
and then he burned down the whole city. Tenochtitlan went up in flames. There you go.
What?
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Crazy.
Yeah, you haven't heard about the Borat revolution? And now they make the Kazakhstan so very nice.
My wife.
Hi, Trish.
Like a nightmare.
No, for real, like the government.
Gamer.
You know who like a chocolate is my wife.
Gamer. We need to get you on some better chocolate.
So in Kazakhstan, the government went to send in the military to squash their protest.
Yes.
But the people took over the tanks and the military and everything and ended up running them out of town.
Uh-huh.
So I think the difference between a rebellion and a revolution is whether or not you win or lose.
Yeah, precisely. Who's writing it?
All right, where I feel like there might be a choosy around the corner. You might have heard us talk.
He may have heard us talk of peaceful
Choosy.
carnation
Are you out
chocolate
there
revolution.
raising
Should we
choosy?
say his name 3 times in front of the mirror?
I know, right?
Ooh, now that he's not here, we should talk about Carnation Revolution.
Oh no! Don't do it.
No,
Oh, that's so mean.
No.
Oh,
So he would come and
low
school
hanging
us.
fruit. He would be.
Maybe that's what we
He
need
would
to do.
comment us to death. This video would have unlimited YouTube pissed off choosy comments about why we don't even deserve to know about peaceful carnation revolution, or chocolate for that matter.
Yeah, good chocolate is not cheap, but that's
But that's the
the
thing
reason
is
for
that
that.
it's worth not buying a cheap bar and spending a couple extra dollars and getting something that's really good.
Yona, what's your understanding of the more ancient traditions from South America where they put hot pepper in their hot cocoa?
Oh, I love that. That's so yummy.
Well, yeah, that was one thing about it. A lot of the chocolate bars in Ecuador, they had pepper in it.
Oh man.
Like you could see little red pepper flakes in it.
That's
but it
dank,
worked.
man. I love that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
That's my favorite. I actually put it into. I put hot pepper into my hot cocoa when I make it. I make it from scratch from dark
Word.
cacao.
It works.
It's actually
Damn.
It's
Go to
it's like
Charlie's
a
and
couple
get some hot
steps
cocoa.
extra to make your own hot cocoa versus using that shit in the packets.
Yeah, I've used this
definitely.
packet shit
Definitely.
before.
I'm a fan of the straight up cacao thing like that, but I really love the same thing as how I like my coffee ice cold and like fucking smoothie thickness or whatever. Like if you can do that with chocolate, that's the fucking shit. I love that.
Don't they call that ice cream?
It's like ice cream, but it's not though. It's like a chocolate. It's like a chocolate icy or something. I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's like a fudgicle. It's a fudgicle, man. Is what it is. It's a fudgicle.
Chocolate.
Yeah, I'm bumming over here. I ain't got no weed. I ain't got no chocolate. I ain't got no gummy bears.
Damn.
Living vicariously over here. Tried taking a nap. My cat came in and kicked me out of bed. Told me to make a fire.
He said you're supposed to go on and talk.
Cat's like Jones for salmon. He's like, come on, man. Just give me a little more. I know how it is, cats.
Did you guys see what Oz said?
What did Oz say?
No doubt.
Is a rerun of the Nazi takeover of Ukraine, a carbon copy of Ukraine. Watch out for the propaganda, my fam.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too, Oz. Fired again.
Well, I did hear that during the Borat Revolution, they did throw the Jew down the well, so that makes sense. That
They
it was
did.
Nazis. Yeah,
they did throw the Jew down the well. It was a big one. What was the other thing? I was just gonna say something that would have been funny, and now I've forgotten it completely.
Do you remember?
Take notes on your funnies.
Somebody remind me of what that was.
Oh yeah, he's like an Ottoman Nazi. You remember when Borat went and crashed like a alt-right rally in Oregon, and he had like a fake band called the Warren G. Harding Band.
Yeah, they sang the national anthem or something.
And that's when he did the song. How did it go? It was like, Dr. Fauci, what you gonna do? Inject him with the Wuhan flu. Like he had this whole song that he sang, but then they like found him out, and so he like jumped into an ambulance and got whisked away. Then he changes outfits and everything, and goes back to the same event and interviews them about what just happened until he gets discovered again, and then leaves again. I'm like, wow. How are you going to bomb the place twice like
He's
that?
He's a fucking maniac. How fucking funny is he? Jesus Christ. That's just balls out. Like, I know. Let's go back as someone else and talk about what just happened from the other person. That's fucking brilliant. That's just good content creation is what that is.
Do you guys have a rundown of what is happening that we are speaking of and what is happening here?
Should we break it down?
Well, in particular, I would point out that Kazakhstan is the largest of all of the Soviet republics that used to be part of the USSR, and that in terms of geopolitics, Kazakhstan is between Russia, China, and Iran. So there's that.
Yeah. Location.
Russia, China, Iran, our homies.
China.
Boy, Kazakhstan is a great place for some new American military bases. Am I right?
Oh, prime location. I was thinking, what was Trump's buddy there that caught all kinds of shit about organizing right-wing neo-Nazi and fomenting that sort of mind think all over.
That's Vladimir Zelensky in Kiev there.
Yeah, Zelensky, but no, the American,
in the Ukraine,
the American guy who's like, oh damn it, I can't remember his name. It's pissing me off. But he's like a major douchebag stirring up right wing stuff.
Bannon?
Bannon, that's it. God damn it! I know he's like fucking part of that entire thing. Like, my money
That
is
took
that
a second to pull out of him.
he is definitely part of that scene in some way.
As soon as Stever said douchebag, I thought, he's got to be thinking Bannon.
Steve motherfucking Bannon.
Yeah, but Steve Bannon's like a douchebag with facial hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. He is seriously though, but he is like a fucking douchebag. I've listened to the guy talk a couple of times, like on purpose, let the thing run. You know, it was like an interview for like 30 minutes or something. Like, what the fuck? Like the whole time he was talking, it didn't make any sense to me. Like he was speaking an entirely different language.
I'd rather listen to one of those
English.
old Charlton Heston interviews when Charlton Heston's gets all into aliens and shit. You know, it's more entertaining.
Yeah, Chuck Heston is just a good storyteller. You know, that's what it comes down to. Bannon can't hold a candle to that.
I miss those old Burt Reynolds interviews. Oh my god.
Those are the best. Burt Reynolds is a fucking
or even better, Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, that when Norm like fucking starts channeling Bert, that is just fucking freak show, man. That is a fucking craziest clown car ride ever. You just like can't stop doing it, you know? Like that shit is fucking funny. He's the best fucking Bert. He might have been better at being Bert than Bert, I think. It's fucking crazy.
Well, that's interesting. Better at being somebody than the person themselves.
I know. I wish if we could just spin some Norm doing Bert real quick, it would be topper. But you know, they'd probably be like, "What? Hey, smack,
dude! You know how many copyright fucking claims there are on everything I do?"
Yeah, that celebrity SNL. Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL was always just so funny. You know, that's like 10, 15 years ago, back when they were funny.
Mm-hmm. That was like 15 years ago when they were funny for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what we got here? We got a mojo.
Just show them your face.
It's like, what, bitches?
Show them your handsome look.
What a pretty kitty.
Yeah, what Oz was asking you the other day. Remember if you?
Oh yeah, Oz. I didn't get a chance to reply to you. We were in the middle of. I didn't want to interrupt you. You had asked me if he's a talker too, because you had a cow kitty as well, and yes, very much so. You'd swear he was Siamese. Get your rump out of my face, please.
They do that. They think they're giving you some energy.
Like, yeah, but smell that ass. Come on. Come on.
Not enough not to have to scoop the poop and so forth. You know the cool thing is, he was this is like his fourth, maybe fifth home, and whoever had him first, they declawed him. So I'm guessing he was always been an indoor cat, and our backyard is fenced in from one side of the house to the other. So now he's got a big backyard, and it's just to see him coming out of his shell. And like he goes out in the yard and like he's not afraid of like anything. Like we have black walnut trees out back, and this year the crop, they were like the size of limes. And if one of them clobbered him, I would be afraid for his well-being, you know. But the freaking walnuts would be dropping, and he'd be like chasing them. I'm like, holy shit! And I started whipping him across the yard.
That would be Everett.
He's fielding him like a soccer goalie. He's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to see you coming out of your.
Their hand-eye shit is freaking amazing with that kitty cat.
Wow. I can tell you for real, I can step out my door right now and cut a big chunk of hate China and throw it on the barbecue with my shrimp.
What is that? Hate China.
Oh, shrimp on the bobby?
Well, I mean, in Australia, particularly, the constant anti-China porn is outrageous. Because, you know, that, hey, we're locking you all down. We've got all this vaccine madness and, you know, concentration
Yona, look what they're doing to
people.
them. Look what they're doing. Look what them people are doing.
But,
you know what's funny too?
hey, look at China. Hey, look at China.
And then they'll be like, oh, well, and they have the biggest carbon footprint. Yeah, but whose footprint are they really having there, guys? If they make everything for us, then whose freaking footprint is so large when we don't make anything in the United States?
But Uyghurs.
And the freaking Democrats gave the ability for all of our jobs to go there, like it's China's fault, like it's their fault. What would we do if China was sending their jobs here? Oh no, we can't take that on. We can't have a thriving economy. Are you kidding me?
Hey, what do I have to do with China? I only shop at Walmart and the Dollar Tree.
They took our jobs.
Where literally almost 100% of what they sell is made in China, unless you're talking clothing. If you're talking clothing, prepare to go on a world tour. Oh my gosh! Start going to Malaysia,
North Korea, South Korea, Bangladesh, the Philippines, a beautiful Pacific, fucking Pacific circuit of sweatshops across the world.
I like to dream I'm at the very end of the Price is Right on the Showcase Cinema, and then I go to the clothing department of Walmart, and I'm just like, you're going to go to Mexico, Nicaragua, Honduras. Where are we going, Bob?
I know, like, here, save the tags in your clothes, kids. We're gonna go on a world tour now. Let's pin the tag on the map. Let's find out where these places are.
And that's the quintessential American way, because everything is either all about the other or away. Well, there is no other, and there is no fucking away.
Exactly.
Charlie, did you see this comment?
Exactly.
Hey, Steve, I've got a name for my clothing game show.
Black and white cats talk a lot, but they lie.
Let's play Race to the Lowest Wage.
Oz says that Mojo is a liar because he's a black and white cat. They talk a lot, but they lie.
Well, this week's wage be lowest in Bangladesh.
They lie down, or do they lie
Nicaragua.
like they're lying to us? Which lie?
This week's winners are from East Timor, where 12-year-olds work for 12-hour shifts for only 12 cents.
12 cents in the mines in Colombia. Let's hear it for Colombia, everybody.
Mojo looks like he's got like a pirate like patch over his eye. He's like, yes.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
pirate cat.
Oh man, you just stereotyped the hell out of that cat,
Snoopy
man.
coloring, so he's like, I'm his Charlie Brown, he's my Snoopy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I want to see him do the
So
Snoopy
I need
dance.
to know, guys.
I can
black and
imagine
white
him
Woodstock.
jumping
cats,
up and doing the Snoopy
they
dance.
talk a lot, but do they lie? Do they lie down, or are they liars?
Hey,
Yeah.
where's Woodstock?
Please enunciate.
Good question. I like that song, Little Birdie.
Yeah.
I had when I first installed my sound system in my VW bus, it was like I got it all super cheap, but it was like I was like a rolling pirate radio station. It was so freaking loud you could hear it from like blocks away. And one day where my buddy and I were high as shit, and we're like right after I got this thing installed, so like we're really enjoying it. And I had the Vince Guaraldi soundtrack, the Peanuts music playing, like the Peanuts theme song. And I'm just cranking it. And we got stopped in traffic, and there's like all these people just crossing the crosswalk in front of us. And it was like this whole family, like, Papa, Mama, and all the kids in succession of like height or whatever. So it looked like a family of ducks or whatever. And they're like halfway across the crosswalk, and all of a sudden they realized what they were listening to, and the whole family just finished like crossing the crosswalk, but they were dancing the whole way. It was awesome. I was like being the instigator for that.
See, you literally manifested life into a cartoon right there.
Did you see what Wobbly? The three biggest myths of Australia. Nobody drinks Foster's. We eat prawns, not shrimp. Barbecue is a terrible way to cook prawns.
Wait, we can't question our stereotypes, damn it.
Hey, Wobbly.
We're
Throw some
not
shrimp
here
on the
to-
bob.
Wobbly Boost, could you have the
Shrimp on
Sheila
the
get
Barbie
off me?
come from? Where the fuck is the origin? I need to know the origin, Yona. Tell me, Yona, what is the origin of shrimp on the Barbie? What the fuck?
Huh. That's probably some old Elvis movie or something. Wobbly Boost, could you please tell the Sheila to get off me, Esky? I'd like a fresh tinny.
I like jumping spiders are awesome.
And jump bears. Are you talking? Are you talking about koalas? Because everyone calls them koala bears, and they're not koala bears.
They got jumping spiders.
These are drop bears. Like actually,
You guys have what is it? Funnel spiders or some shit, and like some kind of crazy freaking jellyfish on some part.
You guys got
Skyla knows like okay,
like
the
2 things that'll kill you here.
knows all of the things. She knows
guys got all the
crazy
deathly.
You know,
out back.
Australia has rock spiders too. They're normally politicians. You need to keep them away from your kids.
Your kids.
Keep them away from your kids. I'm telling you, it's a warning message to all of you.
The message.
I've often been curious
it's
about
a good
the
message.
Barbie thing. Like you must
Keep the
skewer them,
kids
I
away
assume,
from
right?
the rock
Oh,
spiders.
Christ, say keep them away from the kids. Whatever you do.
I think ScoMo is a rock spider. ScoMo, the rock spider.
Is that a rogue spider? He's a bull.
Well, that seems fair dinkum to me, mate.
Do you see this?
Seems fair dinkums.
Oh my
Mojo
gosh,
looks
the
very
other day
nice.
we were in
Yes.
Mr. Wilson's Discord. Mr. Wilson Live. If you guys don't know him, you gotta check him out. 'Cause I love that Pakistani man, slightly inappropriate Pakistani man.
That gloriously inappropriate son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's pretty inappropriate, but that's what I love about him. But he said to me, oh my god, what was I gonna say?
Oh, I know. Mr. Wilson is the Elton John of Islamabad.
That's not what I was gonna say, but that's awesome. Oh, so yeah, I was on his Discord, and there's this kid. His name is the Big Steve over there. He's pretty awesome. If you guys run into him,
Yeah,
his
Big
name
Steve is
Big
cool.
Steve, and I think it's Steve. Was it Steve Jobs or something?
Yeah, he's also Steve Jobs, and
okay, but his real name is Leo. How cool is that? But so like I was like making like funny like impressions. They were like really bad ones. Is what he told me.
I think Mr. Wilson is the most throbbing Pakistani pianist I know.
he is a throbbing pianist, isn't he? Dude, I had my little birthday live stream, and he actually sang a song on his stream. It was something like "You're 1 year closer to your death, 1 year closer to your death."
Yeah,
so
it was the
nice.
cutest song. Do we have that?
Yeah, it's on there. It's up there. I don't know where the timestamp is.
Oh God!
But
I think you guys are
It's
both
funny.
on this thing though, right?
yeah, both things are on the thing. Like it's
You were
recorded
streaming
on
each
his
other.
and it's recorded on.
It's
mine.
on your stream too.
Yes, because you were holding your phone next to the microphone. Remember?
Oh yeah, but his it shows you, right?
I don't know if I'm on his stream. Like
You
that.
are like at the very
I
end
am.
of that stream, and then he
Yeah.
ended. He's like, "Let's go over to Stever's or over there," and then
Yeah,
that's those. If you're looking for it, it's right. at the
it
end
was
of that
pretty fine.
place.
What a nice Pakistani gentleman.
Yeah, it was really cool.
He for a throbbing pianist, he's a hell of a nice guy.
Oh my God, I found it.
I really liked your ditty off the cuff too. You're really good at that, Steven.
Also fun. Also very fun.
What?
Singing everything you'll type in chat. Ain't that it?
Did you see
Okay.
him earlier?
Let's
was
find it.
pinching his nipples.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
watching
yeah.
him earlier. He
Here
was.
we go. Watch.
He was.
He's doing it here.
He's pinching his nipples for a long period of time.
Come over the screen and still feel sad.
I don't know.
Hey, don't do that to me, alright? We want to see. Right.
Do you
There you
think
go.
comedy could work out for a sock puppet?
I will not let go of the nipples till you stop feeling sad.
Worked for Graham Elwood.
He says, pinch your
Stop feeling sad.
pinch your nipples for justice.
Stop it.
Hello, Seth.
See,
I am Dad.
I see where you got that. At.
Hello, Seth.
Stop it right now.
All right, we're gonna find where
His
is
chat
it?
really is a clown car off the rails, though. Sometimes
It is. That was a
funny.
really apt description. It was fucking
Wait,
funny as
where
shit.
are you at?
I appreciate you worked that into the song. That was cool.
Okay, here we go.
Well, that's the thing is being aware enough of the chat to fucking incorporate it into a song. That's a. I could see myself doing that for fun. That would be pretty funny.
You do.
It works.
Okay, so this is Steve.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Did we
Mr.
put
Wilson
like a-
is streaming Steve live, and this is what's happening.
That code?
I don't know.
You can all sing along, you can all sing a song.
Yo, boys, go to his channel and sub to Steve. That's fucking beautiful, man. I really love the.
That's beautiful, Mr. Wilson. You rock, you sir.
Yeah.
Or a boss.
Go to his stream. Let's read him.
Clarinet.
There's something happening with the stream. Stream's not working. Is the stream working? Stream stopped
I'm not
working.
sure where Leo went, but. Is he?
The stream stopped working, I guess.
I feel like we're having a Discord moment here with all the different layers.
I like it.
King Chom, nice to meet you. Nice. How you doing? Anybody who's not already
And these are people from Mr. Wilson's coming over.
a subscriber to
Yes, sub to the channel.
sign up. Put your
We do this to each other all the
finger on
time.
bell, do the thing. Press the button. Right? You know, the thing, man. Come on, Jack.
Let's just watch his stream.
Hey, Lucky, it's a show and a show and a show, like a turducken.
We like we
It's
do
so
like
sweet.
the commentary thing like they do on all the other shows, right? But ours
That's what I'm talking
are fun.
It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000,
Join
right?
the Discord as well.
about. On acid.
I'm gonna mute us.
I'm gonna play a song for Mr. Wilson. Ready?
And there's the link to
Hey,
my channel.
Mystery Burrito Theater.
Ha! MBT 3000.
There it is, right on.
Oh, here's Mr. Wilson's song. Okay.
You will ever see playing games on the interwebs, my man. Mr. Wilson is the coolest content creator I know. And his
Besides Lucky
chat
Burrito.
is like a clown
Ah,
car
I got all the
that gets
qualifications.
weirder and weirder as you
Yona means bear, you see.
oh my God, it's true. It's true. Happy birthday to Steve, dude. Hi, Kaisu.
Pakistani gamer that I know. Mr. Wilson says things that you would not believe to be so.
It's a good song.
He is the coolest friggin' dude. He even sang happy birthday to me. Woo! Let's go.
He's the best. He's the best.
Mr. Wilson is the coolest Pakistani
Yeah.
that I know.
Yo, I hope there's like a is there a like a link in the description? Please send. Where is the link?
We say that because of him.
Where is the link?
He's intimidating. He's being us, being him.
The
We got
dis-
over 200 subscribers.
We did it. We did it.
Oh, we reached.
So
They
we're
said it
gonna,
couldn't be done.
we are gonna do some
Mm,
kind of cool giveaway.
Yep.
Hey, did
So
we reach?
make
Did
sure
we
you
reach?
guys
That
go
That is
over
beautiful.
to the
Oh, we
channel.
reached 200 subs. Oh, this is. I feel so happy right now, dude.
How about
Oh yeah.
Okay.
put your name and your address in a self-addressed stamped envelope and mail it to
Where is the link in the description?
Steve Cutler Live.
Steve
at
Cutler
gmail.
Live at gmail.com.
That's the link in the
No, we're
description.
gonna have to figure out a way to do
Oh, that's Lucky's channel.
All you guys
I'm already
coming in.
subbed to.
Yeah,
Wait,
make
why
sure
can't
guys
you?
let me know?
Oh yeah. Skelmo's the biggest rock spider.
Oh my
Bloody
god.
obvious.
Wait, I need to talk to Lucky. I need to talk to Lucky.
Ah.
You gotta change the Lucky. You need to change your settings.
Gotta change your settings.
It's really
did
funny as Mr. Wilson
Lucky,
is typing. He's
You need
saying it.
to change
The
the setting
I do that like a millisecond faster than him.
to your channel.
Add me on there too.
It is on for kids.
Bill, tell me what the level is now. Is that better on the loop? I can back it way down from there.
Don't you guys think that
And
Wilson and Steve are live together?
you can't
Wilson
click.
come on the street before. That's my channel. I had to show you guys that. Yeah.
But you feel something jazzy? Let me hit you with something jazzy here.
Hit us on the downbeat.
Something jazzy.
See, what was that other thing we were playing the other day? I kind of like that.
Very nice.
There it is. Leo song. All hail Leo.
Leonidas.
That was beautiful.
Leo.
Leo song.
Nice one, Yona.
Just getting more and more jazzy, you know what I'm saying? More and more jazzy. I like it. I like it. More suspended fourths, more flatted thirds, please.
Yeah, man.
Trish, you're very right. Most
Yeah.
governments don't give a damn about us. Most. I wouldn't say not all, but yeah, most. But we need to remember is that the government though is not some alien entity, right? Like that is supposed to be us. So like it's not working because we the people have let it become that way. So we need to say no more.
Your government's just not that into you, to quote Jimmy Dore. But was it ever? I mean, really.
My God, Charlie Brown showed me this guy.
Should I apologize for that, or we
Okay,
were up for a little while last night going, "What the fuck?" If she wasn't saying it, I was saying it. She's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
So I sent it to Steph, and I told her, "Oh my God, I should go read what I wrote in my message to Steph because I had to send it to her."
Oh, did you message her?
I sent her the link, but wait until you hear my description of what I said.
You're absolutely right, Trish. By the way, we need each other now more than ever in human history.
So I told Steph that this guy looks like a combo of Graham Elwood with long, fake-looking hair and Rachel Maddow trying to ride Jimmy's dick and morph into him. It's strange, really hard to watch. It feels like CIA all over it. Probably not worth platforming, and I kind of want to hate subscribe. This dude is nuts. Let me see. I'm going to find him.
But sadly, it's probably fairly mainstream as far as where too many people are.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had 30,000 subscribers.
Too many for that message.
Wow.
I won't torment you guys with a lot of it. Oh my God, he made another one.
Oh, I hope Bluey's okay, Oz.
What happened?
Oz accidentally stepped on his roommate, the lizard.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Excuse me.
We're just gonna put positive vibes out that Bluey is okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he moved out. Oh, I hope he didn't move out.
Oh, it's just Jack and Zuck.
Even them though, look, their eyes like, oh, I don't know, they're just creepy. Look at these guys. Ew.
I wonder if there's some part of
Ew.
I wonder if there's some part of like German genetic breeding eugenic thing or something. They're like all like test tube machines or something.
Have you ever seen them in the same room together at the same time?
It's Sakiberg.
Seriously.
Oh no. It's Jark Sakiberg.
Which
Look
one
out.
is that? Is there any pictures of them in the same room? Ew, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Oh my.
From now on, I'm going to call him Jark Sakiberg.
That guy, he is so creepy.
Oh, if you think that's creepy, you should see Zuckerberg's meta personality, his meta avatar in 3D. That's really, ew. I'm not down with the metaverse. Sorry.
What is happening here? What is happening? Why does she have locks? That is not appropriate. Whoever made this is not appropriate.
Oh my God.
No.
I can't imagine Jen Psaki with some bushy armpits. There's just no way.
Hey, not every woman has bushy armpits.
No, I'm saying if with the locks, just no.
Yeah.
No. She probably can't grow bushy armpits if she wanted to. Who's kidding who?
Like, I mean, come on, look at this guy. Did you see that? It took the picture away.
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was trying to look at this dog.
I know what to show the dog and then poof.
What the hell was that?
You're not allowed to look at that dog picture.
Apparently not.
Is that Google?
This is like a Yahoo thing or something. I don't know. It's whatever just pops up. Usually I use Safari and stuff.
I use DuckDuckGo usually. They don't do.
Yeah, I don't. I don't really run the. I don't usually do a lot on the laptop. It might be on here too. Oh my God. He tripped. 9 lives, bitch. Oh my God. All right, I gotta get off this.
So haven't you guys gotten some snow up in Connecticut yet?
Yeah, really. Not really.
I thought there was like a big bad snowstorm coming up through there now.
They're supposed to be, I think, like tomorrow.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, it's supposed to start here in about 5 or 6 hours. I'd have to look at the weather map to see where it is. Ew. Ew.
So we might have like the Omicron in our house, guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
Skyla hasn't been like feeling great, and like she's been taking some Sambucol. Well, it's elderberry syrup. It's not really Sambucol. That's just the brand of one of them. But
yeah,
she took some elderberry syrup and.
Ooh, is it the Delmacron Flurona?
Oh my God. I know. She's like, I just feel kind of like crappy. Like she said her throat was a little scratchy and she was like a little bit muscle achy, tired and stuff. Like,
wow, that just sounds like a regular old flu.
I don't even think it's a flu. I don't know if she's even ever had the flu, guys. Like, seriously. And she
Or-
was born in the middle of the freaking H1N1 fucking swine shit in 03. She was born smack dab in the middle of
Or
that.
just like a regular winter cold or something that comes and goes in a few days. I mean, that still happens. That's why
Yeah.
they make NyQuil for your
I
runny
know, but
nose, stuffy
I'm
head,
just,
fever, headaches, so you can rest medicine, right?
yeah, that shit's crap.
But now NyQuil
Don't take
remedy.
NyQuil.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is, like, you look at, everything NyQuil is supposed to treat now is apparently that's the Omicron side effects. Like, if you had these symptoms,
The
runny
list
nose,
on the side of a
headache,
NyQuil bottle is
stuffy nose.
worse
Yeah,
than like the things that it will treat is worse than what is with this new virus strain
but I mean, I'm making fun
that
of
they
the
can't test for, but they say it exists.
I'm making fun of the Omicron and the NyQuil because they both come off like a 1800s patent medicine wagon rolling into some old west town, and here comes the guy in his black jacket. Come one, come all, folks. Come one, come all. The Yona's patent snake oil medicine. It cures all. Have headaches, runny nose, fever, backaches, menstrual cramps. Even for you men with menstrual cramps, it'll treat them. The Yona's snake oil. Come one, come all. Safe for injections and effective. Never been tested, but you can't sue me. So come one, come all. Have a taste, have a try.
Oh my gosh, do you see this?
Wow. He's sweating like a zombie that's about to peel skin off his face. Yeah, for real.
Like, he's just like almost there. Like, he's like, I'm gonna transform. Oh my
Bless you.
God.
Gesundheit, gar nicht Krankheit. Bless you.
Oh my goodness.
3 times charm.
Yeah, I always sneeze in threes. Well, not always, but most of the time.
It's funny. There's like some foreign languages where when someone sneezes, there's something you say after the first sneeze. There's a different thing you say after the second sneeze, and there's a different thing you say after the third sneeze. And that's like that in like Hungary and Romania and Japan and Korea and all these different countries. They have like 3 different things you say depending on which sneeze it is.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and this is what I have. I have some like sneezing nose things like happening, which could just be, normal allergies. I don't know.
Like an example, I think it might be Bolivia and Ecuador both, where they say like with the first sneeze, you say "en el nombre del Padre," in the name of the Father, and then with the second sneeze, you say "en el nombre del Hijo," in the name of the Son, and then with the third sneeze, "y el Espíritu Santo," right? So you're saying in the name of the Father, and then the second sneeze, and of the Son, and with the third sneeze, and of the Holy Spirit, because it's a Catholic country, for example. But I mean, there's different sayings that are not necessarily religious. I just find it interesting, all the superstition to do with like what number sneeze you're on and what you need to say appropriate to that sneeze number.
What?
CPS, charities, judiciary, cops. Yes, Wobbly Boost, you are a winner.
What happened?
Get that chicken dinner. The pedophile ring still going strong, mostly centered in child protective services, charities, judiciary, and cops. Ding, 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 ding. 100.
Yeah, see, I don't hate. Okay, you have to remember, to hate somebody, you have to feel like you're giving them energy to hate them. And I don't hate, I dislike people, and that doesn't mean that they are liked at all. It means that I just have no like or love or hate or anything for them. And those are the evil motherfuckers, like, And I don't care what religion it is you follow or whatever it is. I base that upon who you are as a human. I don't care what you do for a living. That does not matter to me. What matters to me is who you are as a person. You know?
All I'm going to say about Catholicism, considering I went to a Roman Catholic seminary school where they trained priests at St. Meinrad, Indiana.
I gotta pee. I'll be right
It's
back.
a whole lot of there's quite a bit of LARP going on in the medieval garb there. Quite a bit of LARP. And so now we move on to the real 400-pound gorilla in the room. Are they on to 4 shots now? I mean, I heard the booster's been approved for the kids. How many shots are we up to now? What am I supposed to do? Oh, please. What channel do I need to go to tell me what to think now? Oof. It just gets overwhelming. All this misdirection to misinformation, and then all the information I actually get that's got citations or facts is then deemed misinformation, and then everything I know is true is then fact checked and told it's not true, and it just gets more obvious every day. It's amazing, isn't it?
I could have some Omicron things happening. I have a little bit of a head stuffiness, a nose sneeze thing happen, a little congestion. I would not be disappointed in that though. You know, I wouldn't be disappointed if I had it and knew that the immunity, you know, is there. You know, I'm okay with that. I would be like, all right, let's let's kick this ass. You know, because I'm like, oh, I went up and I'm like, all right, feel a little bit of that head stuffiness. So I grabbed my black elderberry capsules, where it's just elderberries in a capsule form. And I'm going to take that.
If it's in a capsule form, you could totally just chop out a rail there.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I thought you were going to say boop it. I'm like, I'm not booping these motherfuckers.
No, I mean drainage.
Oh my gosh. We were at a festival once, and I think it was Steve. I really believe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I was at a festival. I was in the parking lot. Oh no, I think it was with my ex Bird. And yeah, so this guy comes over and he's like talking to this couple that were definitely not like they were more like the fish people, you know, like the weekend warriors of the music scene. You know what I mean? They got the money to put down, you know, to go to a show. They can go to Burning Man because they have the money to do Burning Man, you know. And this guy comes over and he's got this walker, and he doesn't need the walker. He just has the walker, and it's dressed all funky, and it's got a bike horn on it. You know, it's annoying, and you know, it's all decorated all crazy. And the guy's like, "You can have it if you can boof it." And the lady's like looking at him like, "What? What are you talking? What does that mean?" I'm like, I am not explaining that to you. Go ask somebody. I am not explaining. Lady, you're not going to do that. So it's not going to happen. So, you know.
Well, sis, if you don't know what a blumpkin is, I guess you're going to have to go with him to the bathroom, and he'll explain to you what a blumpkin is, because he says he really needs to take a shit right now. So.
And I'm like standing there like, Oh no. It's like when you're the experienced, you're experienced with the same sex, and the girl like wants to be like, oh no, I want you to be like, I wanna try this out. I'm curious. And you're like, not explaining this to you, honey. Just no. We're not going there.
That just reminded me of a
I'm
story.
not your practice girl.
Thinking of my dear late brother-in-law, Timothy Aaron Woods, who I lost last year. He was the best man at my wedding, and unfortunately, he passed away in his bed and wasn't found until a few days after he passed away, apparently. But anyhow,
Wait, when was this?
back in March of last year. But the story I was remembering, we went up to an amusement park in Cincinnati, Ohio, called Kings Island. There's also another park up in Ohio called Cedar Point, which is probably more famous because it's got even better roller coasters. But anyhow, we get up to the Kings Island amusement park there, and I think we stopped at Taco Bell somewhere on the way. And anyways, the Taco Bell things happen, and you get the whole bubble guts going on, and so we
That was
finally,
the last time I ate Taco Bell. Like,
and it was terrible. So anyways, we finally get through the turnstiles, and we get into the entrance of the Kings Island, where you can see their little replica of the Eiffel Tower down the little park area. And so I go over to the nearest bathrooms. Every single stall's got freaking shoes under it. And I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? And I come back out, and I see my whole party there. They're all just kind of hanging together. There's like, 20 some of us all together that all traveled up there together, all kin folks and everything. And I'm like, shit, I got to go, and I got to go now. I can't squeeze my cheeks any longer. So I take off for the Hanna-Barbera land, which is like the kiddie part of the park where they got all the kiddie rides and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I finally make it over, because I remember where there's bathrooms over there, right? So I finally make it over to the bathrooms, and I go in there, and I fucking struck pay dirt lucky. It's totally empty. It's just got two boys that are in there pushing mops and, wiping down the counters and cleaning it up. And
those
everything.
poor kids.
And so it's totally empty. It's like all tile on the walls, and it's got like concrete ceiling. The acoustics, I mean, it just amplified every single squirty noise. Like, it's so loud. But then, like, because I've been drinking all this coffee out of a thermos.
Oh,
and
my
so
God.
I've been chugging coffee on top of Taco Bell. And I had like the Dorito taco with the fire. So anyways, I literally hear the broom stick out of one of this kid's hand drop the floor as he just takes off running. The other kid literally goes, he runs out of the bathroom. I made him bolt out of the bathroom. Well, then literally I hear my brother-in-law Timmy like, ha, ha, ha. Hey, guys, he's got to be in here. Did you see how fast those kids run out of there? That's got to be Yona in there shitting and stinking the place up, man. I know we found him. Sure enough, and Timmy walks in, and there he was. Oh, that's Timmy. I miss Timmy. Like, he knew I was
said.
He knew it was me. Like, it's got this whole park full of all these people. And when Timmy saw those two park workers run out of the bathroom, they just abandoned their mops and everything. I come out the bathroom stall, the Windex and the rag and the mop and everything is just they bailed on that shit.
Do you see this? You see what Horny Unicorn said?
Yeah.
He growled Yona and then said, "That's power." And then look.
The acoustics. Oh my God. I mean, I gave them a warning. I mean, when they heard the backsplash, and then luckily, yeah, they got out. They got out in time. But that kid gagging. Oh. Run! And then literally they both run out the door.
They probably have the same version of this story, just in like without your leading up to it. They're like, this guy ran into the bathroom.
And it was so loud. He was the only one in there. It was so loud. And oh my God, I could taste it. You tasted the Yona. And then I hear Timmy outside the door as they run out the door. That's got to be him in there. Only Yona would run people out of the bathroom like that. Yep. And I come out of the bathroom. It's like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, you know what? I'm actually kind of hungry. And there's the two guys standing right there to go back in and clean the place. And they're looking at me like,
you want to refill on that thing? Huh?
Oh, I worked up an appetite.
Oh my God, they're like, we're not eating for the next week, but this dude wants more. I mean, they say you can tolerate yourself, but my goodness.
I'll never forget that King's shit at King's Island. A lot of good memories up there at King's Island Park through the years. Of course, we have our own amusement park here in beautiful Huntington, West Virginia. That would be Camden Park, the second oldest continuously operating amusement park in North America, right behind Coney Island.
Wow, that is really cool.
In fact, there are 2 rides at Camden Park that came from the Coney Island. The one and only. It's really, it's an amusement park. It qualifies. It's got the train ride. It's got the log flume ride. It's got small roller coaster, big roller coaster, scary ride, and, you know, haunted house. And it's got a dining court building thing. And it's built around a bunch of Indian mounds, which is kind of, yeah. And it's really, did I mention it's old as fuck? And, well, I mean, the Camden Park was built by Senator Camden, who operated the Camden Electric Railway before Model Ts started being sold. So, yeah. Because Huntington and West Virginia is old as shit. But anyways, you know, like brick streets everywhere. Anyways, everything is rusted and like it's so old and just sad looking. And I'm so glad it's still open. It's a miracle it's still open. I'm so glad it's still open. It's even survived the Rona closures. Thank God Camden Park is still alive. I mean, when you see how big it is, you're like, wow. It makes the original Disneyland look big. I mean, it's really, really small. Like, I mean, it fits on like, it's maybe like 15 acres, 20 acres. It's like, but at the time when it was built, you know, and still to this day, I mean, it's a great, you know, I guess up until you're like 8 or 9 or 10 years old, it's perfect. It's everything you need for a kid in like an amusement park. It's even got like the bumper car things and other things. Although, I mean, to be fair, you know, these days, whenever you go to Camden Park, like half of everything there is like broke down and not working because. But anyways, I mean, all I want to say is good things about Camden Park.
Wait, is the government afraid? Are they in charge of their infrastructure too
Infrastructure?
at the park?
Oh, it's privately owned.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the infrastructure. Yeah, that went over my head. No, the infrastructure at Camden Park is like literally a microcosm of the entire country.
Now you see it.
And then there's been like a lot of freak accidents and stuff that have happened there, and they always happen right around the Indian Mound that's right in the middle of the park. That originally they had a picnic pavilion on top of, and so many freak accidents happened at the pavilion that they built on top of the Indian Mound that they kind of leveled off, that they ended up putting the dirt back on the top of the mound and just letting it grow and get covered with trees. And so now it's just like weird, this thing in the middle of the park with, you know, this huge Indian mound, and they've got signs all around it now. Don't walk on this. Don't eat on this. Stay away from this. Don't
You
bury
would think there would be a place for offerings on there.
Don't bury your dead child that gets run over by a semi truck here.
What?
Like Pet Cemetery, you know.
You know, it's crazy because you don't hear about like how, like, you know, they dug up a white man's burial ground.
Like right down the road.
And why is it a graveyard for some, but then it's a burial ground? Like as if it's like some different thing. It's like, oh, if it's a burial ground, it's different.
This is what's crazy. Literally about 2 blocks down the street from the main entrance to Camden Park, right off US Route 60, is the Huntington flood wall, which protects the whole city from catastrophic Ohio River flooding. We'll see if it works. They haven't had to put up the gates in a long time. But anyhow, right there at the flood wall on the side of Route 60 is one of these old bronze historical marker signs with the whole plaque and, you know, text reading out, and it says Indian Mounds on the top. It says, at this location and across the road in Camden Park, there used to be more than 25 Indian mounds. One of the mounds is still extant inside the park, as in existing, EXTANT. And it's like, wow, so about the other 24 mounds, I guess they're just gone. Poof. More flatland to build houses on, I guess. I don't know. They're just not there. Huh? But there's one left at the park. And they tried building on it, and that didn't go so well.
Oh, my God.
I used to work with my friend, Weston Deasy, Running Foot. He lived up in other side of Waverly there. And you know, he was talking about different Ohio natives and Ohio tribes having to work together constantly, trying to repatriate remains and other items that are looted from the numerous mounds that are all across the Ohio Valley here, and the Sauda Valley and the Musqueam Valley. You know, and there's people that are just all the time like digging into mounds and then going online or trying to sell arrowheads, artifacts.
Have you seen that?
Wow. Is it the Tibetan monks that like a traditional way for a Tibetan, one of the traditional ways for a Tibetan monk to die is they'll literally cut up their bodies into small pieces and feed them to like peregrine falcons and stuff like that.
I'm not sure, but you can have a mycelium coffin.
Now, one of the traditional Cherokee ways of death is a cedar funeral pyre, where you're actually put up on a cedar platform and basically cremated with cedar wood, and then but it's on a platform so that as it burns, the ashes are just carried away with the wind.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh my God, look at this. Look at the propaganda that pops up.
Meanwhile, in China.
Like, all I'm doing is looking at these, like, alternative burial pods. Like, I was thinking, like, like a Viking funeral would be fine. I don't know what all this is.
Wow, my Bic lighters are actually made in the USA.
Whoa, look at this. Look how beautiful that is.
Thank God. Ooh, that looks like some Greek-looking cane boxes. Wow.
Looks like willow or something. Oh, look at that. That's an urn. As if we're looking like, it's a weird thing, right? So everybody's like super weird about death. You know what I mean? Like, and people, so look, yeah, you can be mushrooms. I would make me a mushroom grower. I would love that.
That sure beats that's way better than being pitched into a mass burial pit. I say.
Look at this. I mean, it's a living cocoon. Like, you go back to the earth.
I've actually worked at the Spring Hill Cemetery for all summer long and into the fall. That's about the 6-month stint through Greater Huntington Parks and Recreation District. So I was up there at the Spring Hill Cemetery, weed eating and lawn mowing, and then digging graves, and then lowering caskets, setting up the chairs and everything over the burials, doing stuff that you do as like a grave digger, groundskeeper at a cemetery. Spring Hill Cemetery is the fanciest cemetery in all of Huntington, and in fact, that's where the Marshall football players and coaching staff were buried after the terrible plane crash in 1970, I think it was, when the plane was coming back from Eastern Carolina University football game, the Marshall University football team, and the plane crashed as it was making its final approach and killed everyone on board the plane. And so, and then Matthew McConaughey came to Huntington. They ended up making the movie We Are Marshall about that terrible tragedy that happened here locally. But there's a massive memorial, and they're all buried together up on the very point of the Spring Hill Cemetery, overlooking all of Huntington, up there off of 20th Street and Charleston Avenue. Anyhow, I was working up there with a good friend of mine, Zach Boggs. He ended up being found in a lake. Fortunately, was no longer with us. But, it's weird. Like, the friend I worked with at the graveyard was like,
oh my God,
almost 20 years younger than me, and like he's already dead. On Rottnest Island, they have tent land on top of it. Whoa. Ooh, who would want to camp in a graveyard? Oh, I got the spookiest story for you before we sign off for the night. So I told you I do land survey. Well, I did this land survey one time where I got the heebie-jeebies. so fucking bad. So it was down in Pulaski County, Kentucky. Just south. In fact, it was between Burnside and Somerset, right off of U.S. Route 27 for those keeping track, up at the very head of the Lake Cumberland area, off Jacktown Pike, to be exact. So anyhow, I do this land survey, some, top of a mountain and everything, and had a little dead end county road that zigzagged into the woods going up the hill and dead ended with a little turnaround loop at this house. And halfway up this road on the left, there was like a strange pull off that was at nothing. And I'd always thought, well, why in the fuck is there this pull off that pulls off and just dead ends, and there's clearly no road going past it, but it's clearly a pull off and it's clearly been there for a long time. Why? It just made no sense where you're at going on the hill and everything else. Anyhow, so there's this brick house, and it's got the plywood over the door and the plywood over the windows, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. And so eventually, curiosity got the better of us. And so, we just kind of, the plywood was on a hinge. So we just kind of opened the plywood up on the door and went in and checked out the house inside. And I mean, there was some graffiti and stuff in it, but pretty much there wasn't much in it. Nobody had ever hung out in there, and just got the heebie-jeebies real bad. And where it was built into the hillside, it had like a nice concrete sidewalk around the front of it and a concrete place where you can park, but the road was gravel. But around the back side of the house, where it's by the hill, they'd gone through and laid down like what I thought was like flagstones, and like it was all kinds of different colored, shiny, polished pieces of stone, like red granite and like green granite and all these things. And then I noticed one of the pieces of stone had part of a person's name carved in it. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why is it, so taking that into account, the next day in my survey, I'm down there at the bottom of the lot coming up the other side. And I'm within view down by the property line, looking up toward the gravel road. I can see where that little pull off is. And then I noticed the pull off is next to a landform that kind of sticks out from the slope, and it's in a perfect rectangle shape. And I'm like, what the? Okay, that pull off has something to do with that. So I leave my tripod and my transit and my paint can and everything, and I just walk up this little rise about 50 yards or so, and I get up there, and it's a fucking graveyard that's got trees growing up through the middle of it. And this motherfucker went through the whole graveyard with a sledgehammer and broke off the top of the gravestones to make his sidewalk.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Well, then I end up talking to the old neighbor lady that's on the back side of the hill. The only other one that lives off the hill. She's like, yeah, his lawyer, he bought that house, moved in there, fixed it up and everything. But then something got a hold of him and he went crazy, and he killed all his kids and killed his wife and then killed himself. And then they've been trying to sell it ever since. I was like, well, I wonder if that had something to do with when that jackass went down to that rode up graveyard and thought he would just harvest the fucking tombstones for a new sidewalk. Maybe that did something. I mean, talk about disturbing the dead. Jeez. I mean, what kind of fucking person would do? Anyways, that was my story. Yeah. Oh, the things we experience in our lives. Oh, wow. And people are like, hey, Yona, do you believe in ghosts? Well, yeah. Look, it gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. That place was as
Yeah.
haunted as could be. That house was so fucking haunted. That sidewalk was so, it's going to be haunted until they put them gravestones back down there. Just, oh my
Yeah.
God.
And pay some respect. Like it is gonna be until
What kind of person? It's like, oh, look, this is a grown up graveyard and nobody cares about it. So I'm just going to take a sledgehammer and bust up these gravestones and use them as a fancy sidewalk. Because look, it's polished granite. Oh, and the best part is they used one of the gravestones and had it cut up and cut out a hole for a sink. And that was around the kitchen sink. I wonder if that house is still for sale.
oh my God.
I know the address. Hey, it's got a good property survey on it.
Oh my God.
Oh, but there is a graveyard. There is a graveyard on the property. Hey, if you like ghosts. Oh, God.
I think that if there was enough of us that had the intention of making it peaceful there and brought sage and tobacco and did a whole lot of work there, then we could probably help the spirits, you know what I mean? But
I don't know. There's just nothing but very pissed off spirits that they're at the point. And rightfully so. And
I'm seeing a whole ritualistic thing that would have to happen there for them to just even feel any calm.
Don't worry. They ended up building a 4-lane road right through where that cemetery is. So hopefully they moved the graves.
Oh my gosh.
Because they ended up building Kentucky State Route Loop 914, Highway 914, which is a big 4-lane road that's got a big interstate cloverleaf.
You should look into that.
Yeah. No, I don't know if they moved the graves, but where the cemetery was, and that little pull-off spot is like right in the middle of like a 4-lane road now.
If they didn't, can you imagine? Like there must be car accidents in that spot all the time.
They would have had to have moved those graves because a job of a land surveyor, at least in Kentucky and in West Virginia and in Ohio. I can't speak to other states, but and in Texas, and in Florida. In states that I've surveyed, it's the job of a land surveyor to always make note of any graves or graveyards on a property survey. That's a requirement. And a lot of times when you're doing a land survey, you're not much concerned with every last thing that is within the boundary you're surveying. Your job is just to mark the perimeter itself and determine the acreage therein. Unless you're doing like an as-built survey, which in that case, any improvements on the property, any utility easements or utility lines, then you're trying to show everything that crosses the property. But in terms of anytime you do a mortgage inspection or a boundary survey or a line survey, any type of survey work whatsoever, you're always supposed to make note of any graves or graveyards and note them on the survey plat. And so, anytime I'm on a survey and I see graveyard, I'm like immediately, show it, survey around the edge of the graveyard, and then show where it is on the property that, hey, this is a graveyard, so can't do anything with this part of the land. There's dead people there. But anyways, anytime there's a graveyard shown on a map and then the highway department buys it to build a road, I can guarantee you they're moving the graves. I don't know how that really goes with disturbing the dead and putting them to a new resting place when their family's not there to put them in the new resting place like they were in the old resting place. So, I don't know how that goes. They get really weird with death over in Europe. There are so many places with catacombs. No more so than Sicily. Sicily is really, really obsessed with death. I mean, Anthony Fauci's family, the Fauci name comes from Sicily. Fauci means sickle, as in reaper's sickle, right?
Wait, is this what you're talking about?
Yeah. And I mean, they have these catacombs everywhere of like, I mean, really decked out hall after hall after
They have
hall
them in New York too.
of catacombs of
There are
skulls.
catacombs in New York.
There's catacombs in Naples and Rome and Florence and Paris. But Sicily just really, they've got like a whole catacomb church. And it's just weird. It's really weird. Because my dad's family, you know, they originally come from Borgio and Agrigento province of Sicily. I still have a lot of family over there on my dad's side.
I mean, look at this shit. This shit's freaking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the skulls and bones into the walls and like making walls out of bones and just, it's crazy.
It's really weird to me. I mean, like,
Because there were death cults. These are ancient death cults that would meet down underground.
look.
Yeah.
Like, is this just creepy to me, or what do you guys think of this stuff right here?
See, there's these monks in Palermo called the Cappuccin monks. And they have this hairdo where they shave the top of their head and they shave the bottom of their hair all the way up. And then they leave just a little ring of hair like a halo that circles all the way around. And that's the only hair that they have. And that's the hairdo for a Cappuccin monk in Palermo. And they have all these labyrinths of catacombs. Well, when they went to make the breakfast coffee drink in Palermo with the little ring of foam around the edge, they called that drink the cappuccino. And that's where we get the word cappuccino. And because cappuccino was the breakfast coffee drink that's got the chocolate and the sugar and the milk and everything mixed into it. And as I found out when I was in Sicily 3 years ago, cappuccino is a breakfast drink. You go to try to order cappuccino after the lunchtime nap time, and you can't. It's like the equivalent of, like, up until recently, trying to order breakfast food at a fast food joint in the evening hours. You know, like going to a McDonald's and saying, "I want the big breakfast and the pancakes," and they're like, "We're not serving breakfast. It's after 10:30." And that's what happened to me. I'm like, "Yeah, I want a cappuccino." "I'm sorry, sir. That's a breakfast drink." "What? Cappuccino is an all-day drink in America." The Cappuccin Catacombs in Palermo. Wow.
I mean, like, what is this?
Whoa.
This is a haunted one. I can imagine that they would have a lot of spirit activity there.
And then there's like all these churches and cathedrals all across Europe, and they have their sacred, saintly, bodily pieces. Like, this is the sacred nose of this saint, and this is the sacred finger bone of this saint, and this is the femur of this saint, and this is the ribs and the chest, breastplate of this saint, and this is the jawbone of that saint, and it's right up there behind the altar. And
like I want to go to catacombs, right? Like I want to go and witness this, but I am very sensitive to spirits, and to me it's like I have a hard time going to even just like a hospital, like, or anywhere where there's been a lot of death, because I've had experiences where these spirits have gotten in my face in a public place. I remember one time I was waiting for an MRI and I'm in there by myself, and this spirit is like in my face. This guy is a freaking jokester, and he's in my face and he's laughing. He's like, "You can see me." Like making all these faces and getting close to me, like, "Wait, you can see me." And I'm trying not to laugh because I look like a crazy person sitting there laughing at a spirit that is like, in my face, like, I know you see me. And I'm like, oh my God.
oh my God, the stories
I'm gonna go
I
nuts,
could tell you about this working at the Spring Hill Cemetery. But just one thing I will point out, okay, when you dig a hole that deep and you put a vault and then a coffin down in there, okay, you still have groundwater that comes in, and sometimes,
oh my God,
when it's been raining for so long, the coffin becomes so buoyant because of all the water over top. Because when the groundwater line goes above the coffin will become buoyant in the vault, and it can actually lift the top off the vault. And of course, if you have a coffin that's not buried in a vault, it's just coffin straight down, and then it gets wet in the middle of a rainstorm, you'll have coffins bust up through the dirt to the surface. Well,
coffins creep me out.
So,
like, why do you put toxins in somebody's body to preserve them and put them in a box and then put them in the ground?
I'm out there one day, and
that seems really disrespectful.
We're digging a hole because we've got like 4 funerals coming up the next day. And so, I mean, we normally couldn't do more than 6 in one day. So it's a full day coming up, and we only have 3 setups. So we already know that we're going to have to break one of them down and move it to another setup. So after the first funeral gets done, we're going to have to break all that shit down and run over to the 4th hole and set all the carpets and chairs and everything up around the 4th hole, right? Well, in the middle of the day, all of a sudden, this freak storm cell comes through and it starts dropping hailstones and shit. So we take cover in the lawnmower garage, right? And it's like bang, bang, bouncing off the ceiling and everything. And then all of a sudden, crack! There's a freaking lightning strike in the cemetery. And it hits a tree. Tree limb breaks off. The tree's smoking, right? And we go over, and it made a coffin shoot up out of the ground, but at an angle, and it busted the door open because it was one of those coffins where, it can open halfway or all the way, so it's got like 2 separate hingy door pieces.
It's like the barn door, like in a house, but it's a coffin door like that, right?
Like the top door part that's from like the waist up to the head and everything opens up, and the body falls out, and it's still got like skin and hair on it, and it's literally like on the same street as like the next funeral in like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And so he's like, quick, let's go get a tarp. So we go and set up a tent with blue tarp and everything, which is like the small hole digging tent, like not for people to visit, because Only got a big tent. That way people, even if it's raining, they can still do their funeral around the coffin. Anyways, so real hurriedly, we throw up this blue tent and put it over this coffin with this body hanging out of it. And then all these people drive down. There's like, I don't know, 100 freaking cars. This second funeral is like this dude from
Wait, is
Detroit.
this like a normal thing for them to pop out like that? Does that happen?
No, but that's they said that's the first time there'd been a lightning strike that they could remember inside the. Because I mean, when the lightning hit that tree and it went down to the tree roots and it like shot that coffin right out the ground.
I know, but I'm just, oh my god,
That was crazy. That was, oh my god, there's so much crazy. And then the worst thing of all, you're listening to your headphones, you're weed eating around, the graves, and you're careful not to step on any headstones. And then boom, you step on a soft part of ground and your foot falls down like in a girlfriend. You go, ah! I'm just waiting for like a hand to reach out of the ground and grab me on the
oh my
like,
god.
I don't miss that job. That job was spooky.
Oh my god, ew. Like, I'm not afraid of death, right? Like, my dad died. It's gonna be coming up later on in this month, a year ago. And
wow.
yeah.
I lost my dad in 2005.
You know what though?
He's still
He
weird.
gave me a gift. Do you know what that gift was? We had a conversation about what he would want when he was going to die.
Wow.
We had the conversation. It wasn't like some dramatic thing. We had the conversation. He's like, I know this may seem a little bit, blah, 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 but I want to make sure that you know that a hospital might call you and tell you that I'm in bad shape. I want you to know that. And we talked about it. So when the hospital called to tell me the news that I knew was coming,
you were ready.
I was ready. I could tell the doctor clearly and concisely exactly what needed to happen. And it made me making my choice to say, when I am in the deepest grief that I've ever felt in my life, I could tell the doctor, all right, this is what I want. Like, he's like, I said, me and my dad had this conversation and I know what he would want. And
he told me. Yeah.
That's the biggest gift that my dad could give me, was having that conversation. So when I was in the middle of having to decide whether my dad would go in for surgery or be kept comfortable on life support until he passed, I knew what to do. I knew exactly what to do in that moment. I didn't have to think about it. And when I had to deal with, he died in the West Coast. And I remember them saying, like, oh my gosh, do you want to try to, like, come here or, whatever. And I'm like, there's no way that I would even be able to get there and have anywhere to go. And then with all this, the crazy hysteria of last year, it was, there wasn't as much truth being told about it. You know what I mean? Still, like, aware of everything, not afraid of it, but like, like, it just, it's the same chaos that we're in now, So I was like, I won't make it in time. But yeah, I'm going to do a whole thing, stream about my dad and this whole thing. But like, the biggest gift that you can give to your loved ones, it may seem crazy and weird to talk about, but is to tell them what you would want in the end. What do you want? Like I remember my mom and stepdad came to me and were like, yeah, we just want to let you know, this might seem a little like, and I'm like, no, actually, like, I would like to know that you planned the whole thing and that I don't have to worry about it and that my sister's an executor. No, thank you. That is what I need to know. That is what's important for me to know. And it might not be something that people are very comfortable with, but we need to walk in the direction of uncomfortable. That's
I
what we do.
know it made so, still to this day, it meant so much to me when the funeral director allowed me to honor Jennifer's wishes and play the songs that she wanted played, because then she'd have that conversation with me about, when I die, I want this song and that song played. And, it was Paranoid Android by Radiohead and the Pearl Jam version of Where Oh Where Did My Baby Go? And then I also played Green Day, Wake Me Up When September Ends, because she died on the last day of September back in 2008. Just when she died, 3 kids were all young. Abby was 33 months, and little Danny was 18 months, and Colin was about 5 months old when she died. So they didn't know. Current wife was the only mother they've ever known. But that's just one person of about 14 at last count within my most inner circle that have all perished due to Big Pharma. Ah, yes. Big Pharma. But Big Pharma has changed its ways now, and it's only trying to save lives.
My dad is
Safe and effective.
my dad had cancer 4 times. The 4th time it got him, and that is brought to you by Monsanto.
Yeah. My dad died of stage 4 terminal pancreatic cancer. And when he got the stage 3 diagnosis, it wasn't too long before he went on to hospice care. I mean, he stayed at the house, but I mean, he had like prostate cancer and other cancers before. What always got me was last time I got to sit down with him, the last moments I got to spend with him, because they ended up going on a cruise, and he actually, the night before he died, he was actually ballroom dancing. They were, and then Mom and Dad got back to shore at Fort Lauderdale, Virginia, and Broward County, and were literally in the reception hall going through customs, and they sat down on a bench, and she told him she was going to the bathroom and she'd be right back. And she said while she was in the bathroom, someone came and got her and said that he had collapsed and fallen over off the bench and the floor, and they couldn't revive him. And then, yeah, that was it for Dad. And then it took like 3 weeks to get his body back from Broward County, and they didn't even refrigerate him, and so it was a challenge just to even have a funeral. But they were able, I guess, with embalming and everything else, to pull it off. It was just, it was really just fucked up. But I think back to that last moment I spent with them, and it was just so dirty the way my dad was done, because Mom got a job working all the time, so she was gone all the time, so she didn't have to be around him and take care of him all the time. Besides, hospice is going to take care of him. And then my sister was like, well, I'm going to run the survey business. And so you just stay away from him. And then my sister came over and was like, we don't want you coming around the survey business no more. Quit doing it. And then I come to find out, well, my sister was going to customers and telling them that she would finish the survey work. She was from Colorado and Texas. I don't know why she was taking money from landowners in Kentucky saying she'll finish the work when I was a surveyor and my dad was a surveyor and nobody else. But then I found out that, as soon as my dad died, then the same sister was executor of the estate, sold all the property, sold all the cars, sold the business, cashed out, and took all the money and went back. So it's kind of how that happened. But I think back to what happened to my dad through all of that. And little by little, she told everyone in the family, just don't go around him and everything. So, 2-3 weeks go by. Haven't heard from Dad, haven't talked to him, haven't nothing. So finally, it's just really weighing on my heart. So I go up to see him, and as it turns out, it'd be the last time I see him alive. And I go up there to see him, and there's nobody there. And I go up, and at this point, Dad had always been, 5'9", about like 270, 300 pounds normally, big guy, size 46 waist, not fat, but, because we're surveying, so he's in shape, but, big, chunky. And at this point, he literally looks like frickin' Skeletor from all the radiation and chemotherapy and all the fucking cancer treatments and shit. And so, it's just literally just looks like death warmed over, just like a skeleton laying in the bed. He's all weak and everything. When I'd seen him before, he always had the fight in him and the fire in his eyes, But that last time I saw him, I knew it was over. He had given up. You can tell when somebody's just given up anyways.
Yeah, my dad had to tell me on the phone that he was giving up.
Yeah. And my dad was always just pretty much an asshole my whole life. Never saw him cry, never saw him get emotional. And that's why it was just so, it just fucked me up. He's like, asked me, so how you been doing? You been surveying? Yeah, still working. He's like, well, how's the kids and everything? Yeah. Changing a lot of diapers and everything. He's like, yeah, well, it sure is nice to hear about. I was like, well, apparently they're still cranking out surveys and stuff down at the office. He's like, they are? Well, I'm too sick to get down there. I was like, they already fired me. They told me not to come back. They did what? It's like, yeah, she told me that you didn't want me around. You didn't, that you were mad and you didn't want me around. And so that's why I haven't called or come around. I was like, well, no, that's not true. I'm so glad you come visit me. I haven't talked to anybody or had any visitors in like a week and a half, And, I love you, son. I'm so lonely. And he starts crying.
Wow.
And then he's such a tightwad his whole life. And he reaches in his wallet. He's like, here's $100. Just take it. I'm like, why? And then I left and I'm like, I can't spend this $100. He's out of his mind. He's fuck. What the fuck was that? And then I'm like, the more I think about it, the more angrier and angrier I get. I'm like, fucking sister, my God damn, none of his friends, no family. And then I realized this was all deliberate. This was all fucking deliberate. She's the one that got Mom to get the job and be gone all the time. She's the one that told me to get the fuck away and not come back. She's the one that pushed everybody away from him so that he could literally die crying in bed alone in pain every day until he just fucking died. And then right up to the very end, then he goes on the cruise because Mama wanted to go on a cruise. He shouldn't have been. He had to go on a cruise because they wouldn't let him fly because they said he was too sick to fly. So Mama drags him on a cruise for one last cruise. Yeah, and that was 2005. And what year is it now? I'm still fucking mad. Shit's so wrong. So fucking wrong. And I think of, there's so many people that have gone through bullshit in the last year and a half with like people getting sick and dying in the hospital or then having a funeral. And they're like, oh, we can only allow 6 people at the funeral. Just the governor has a new rule for funerals. I mean, there's been shit like this all across the country when it comes to death, like, oh, well, we'll let you FaceTime them before we give them the midazolam. Because, sorry, do not resuscitate orders. Our hands are tied at the hospital. Well, we can't resuscitate them, and they're suffering anyways, so we're going to give them midazolam. But you can have FaceTime with your relative for like 2 minutes before, we're on it. I'm like, what? Shit like this has happened in the last 2 years. I mean, the fucked up shit that people have gone through with dying and death and all this shit, and then adding COVID restrictions to that. I mean, luckily, again, we dealt with that with Timmy's passing last year, and then going to the funeral home, and it's like there's all this shit posted on the door. Commonwealth of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has decreed at all funeral homes you must blah 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 blah. Before embalming corpses, make sure you administer another COVID booster. It's like, but they're already dead. Like, just the shit. Oh my God.
It's crazy. They weren't willing to do anything to help you live, but if you died, they were going to pay out a funeral cost. Like, so
Yeah.
It's like people want to have COVID on their death certificate so they get a death benefit. You know what I got? Nothing from Social Security. My dad was a Teamster, right? Less than $200. I still owe money in my dad's funeral.
Well, I guess lucky for us, Mom and Dad had already picked out their stones and paid for their plots. Had their arrangements made. But they're boomers. Boomers. Yes. Like Hal Sparks. Really, really, I mean, boy, did he summon his mansplain boomerage. Oh, God. Mansplain it to me. I want to hear Hal Sparks mansplain ovulation and menstruation just for kicks. I'm sure he's an expert about that too.
Oh. That dude, man.
This fucking guy. So pathetic. Wow, we really got serious there, talking about all this death and funerals and stuff. I'm telling you, we cover all topics here. You just can't touch any more personal pain than, burying a wife or a parent. Wow.
That was like one of the worst things that, like the worst pain that I think I've ever like really fucking experienced was my dad. It really was. And the fact that I couldn't be there, like I could not be there. I hadn't seen my dad in a really long time. And like we talked like every day.
I gotta say though, I look back
Like, he was like my best friend. And I lost my best friend that way. Because of the way our government handled this fucking stupid bullshit.
I mean, radiation and chemotherapy actually cause cancer, but yet that's the treatment for cancer.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Remember, though, Joe Biden said he was going to cure cancer, and when everybody has cancer from this fucking shit, they injected. Oh, I was going to say this the other day. I totally forgot. or the last stream or something. So on my Twitter, I posted to my Twitter. I haven't gone back and seen if there was any replies or what, but I said, would you go out and get injected by somebody with something random on the street?
Those are called junkies. There
But I mean,
are
like,
people that
seriously,
do
all
that.
these people that are going and getting fucking random shit put into them that are experimental. Why don't they just go and freaking, take their chances with whatever somebody has in a freaking needle? Why not?
That reminds me of that.
You're rolling the dice. At least you might feel good going out with that one.
That reminds me of that Chappelle Show episode where Chappelle Show plays Tyrone Biggums, and he's talking to a little classroom, and he's supposed to be there for the DARE program. But he's telling all these kids in this classroom, all right, kids, I'm Tyrone Biggums. Take notes if you need to. You just take the number 3 bus to downtown, and then you ask for Estevez, because Estevez shit is the bomb. And they're like, and they're taking the teacher's like, no, kids, no. So you go to the Walgreens and you ask for the Pfizer, because that's the killer shit, kids. The one you saw on Sesame Street. I mean, literally, like. And then you go under the bridge and you get the juice. I mean, that pretty much. Like, what's the difference? What's the fucking difference, Lucky? I mean.
Seriously, do you know what's in either one of them?
What's the difference between getting a shot behind a dumpster and a shot at a fucking grocery store parking lot?
Hey, well, you could go.
You have to wait for 15 minutes.
In Connecticut, you could get one at a fair, and then go get a Krispy Kreme donut, and you might get a discount on like a car wash or something.
If I'm getting one at the fair,
really weird.
There
I feel like
better
it's one
be
of
free
those
funnel cake or fuck yourself. No free funnel cake, fuck your jab. Throw me some funnel cake with all that powdered sugar on top, and I'm fucking stuck now. Shit. Gotta have that funnel cake. Oh my god. I got some friends that are carnies.
Horny Unicorn must know some interesting people. So he said that most meth heads I know are anti-vax. So.
Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Look, I'll do needles, but not those. It's funny. There's a town up the river here. Well, technically it's downriver, but it's north.
Oh my god.
So
you see what Choosy put? Choosy's doing it, man. He's got it.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got those matrix bars. So he's
look, and that's the next thing.
Mackerel face smack for Choosy.
Yeah, we know. Phenomenal, absolutely. Most scientists say that sooner or later, everybody will eventually get COVID, regardless of whether they are unvaccinated, vaccinated, or boosted. Yeah, and it's true. Like, they've said that literally. Everybody is going to get it. It's not like my daughter has like a little bit of like a cold thing happening. I'm like, oh, it could be Omicron. Like, we don't know. And it's so ridiculous because, like, I'm having a little bit of like a stuffy head, my nose, some sneezing and stuff. Like, it could be that. It could be a normal freaking. Oh, excuse me. It could be a normal freaking thing because our heat went out and our body temperatures were lowered. And it's back on now. But like. Could be because of that, it's something like, the slightest thing can do it.
Well, we've always measured our years in winters, not in birthdays, because winter is always the great trial on your human health.
And Skyla was born on December 22nd. And that year, it was winter solstice. And usually it doesn't land on like the 22nd. Like that's an odd, it's more of an odd day for it to land on. So it was like really cool. It was the very last day that she could be born. She was due the 10th of December. And she decided that she was not coming out. She was setting up a bedroom and she had to be evicted. And so that was the last day that they would let me go because I was 2 weeks past due. And, you know, you run into more risks and complications, you know, like, you know, the baby can get meconium and, you know, aspirate it and stuff like that. So, you know, I became more of a risk for getting like a C-section or something as I got farther out, you know, from my due date and everything. But I was like, you know, I want to do it the last day that I possibly, you know what I mean? I don't want to make her come out, but yeah, I was given Pitocin.
I'll never forget the firstborn child and the first diapers I changed. And I thought, ew, meconium is gross. Yeah, until the milk turds arrived. Then, with each child that was born thereafter, I learned to savor every single delicious green, slimy meconium turd that they could produce until the brown slimers arrived.
Yeah, like that yellow. Ew. Okay, we probably don't want to gross people out too much, but yeah, it looks like freaking sweet corn and mustard mixed together.
All that because you go from like the meconium turds to the
Like
colostrum turds to the brown pudding pop turds that are just as soon as they shit, it's like I just never I just for life I could never understand like when I deliver pizza somewhere and some baby's got a shitty diaper on that has already been leaving like marks on the legs from the shit rings, and it just stinks so bad. But to be fair, you can't smell it over the litter box or the dog shit in the carpet. So you know, I'm just like, I guess you just get used to that smell. Yeah, I try not to judge people. I guess I'm just, you know, I love animals and everything, but you know, and I wish we could have animals in our apartment. I miss getting to have my animals love on me and me love on the animals. But when it comes to the whole feces and stuff, you know, I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I can smell it. You can smell it outside before you even open the door. So I know you smell it. So apparently you're fine with that smell.
Do you see what phenomenal mysticism?
Smelling the smell.
We're intriguing. We're talking about turds. Talk about it all of it. I think I do need to cut off soon, though. Here, I'm just like feeling like feeling like I got a head coldy thing happening.
I guess my point is this that I'll finish on, Lucky. I think when it comes to becoming a fur baby parent, that not everyone is cracked up to be a fur baby parent, is what I'm trying to say in a kind way. And that if you're going to be a caretaker for an animal, you kind of need to be like at least responsible enough to, like, you know, not lead to suffering for that animal. Like, I'm trying to be delicate how I approach this. That not everybody can. I mean, I feel so bad for like, with the mange and the cat with the infected eye. I'm just like, and then like today, like I had a delivery to the animal shelter. Luckily, it's a no-kill shelter, and I'm just thinking like, there's a
that
couple of
PETA.
houses I wish you people could just like, maybe take the cat with the infected eye and take the mangy dog and nurse them back to health because the homes they're in. Like, and I'm not like trying to get that CPS vibe going. I'm just saying my heart cry. I mean, I just feel bad. I feel bad for the kid stepping over the broken beer bottles with the shit rings around its diaper. But I'm not trying to be Superman, and I'm not trying to say the dog catcher and the government and everyone should just swoop in and just separate these families and take the dog and the cat and the child away from the house. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, the human that is responsible in that situation should just fucking step up and do the right thing, or the neighbors should be over there beating their ass. I mean, that's how it should really work.
Yeah, there needs to be community. There needs to be someone that doesn't just ignore it. And you know what I mean? That person's got to know somebody. There must be somebody in that person's life, or somebody who was in that person's life that should have stepped up and said, "Hey, this might be fucking uncomfortable, but yeah." Like I worked at a homeless shelter, houseless shelter, and I will not reveal anything about the people that I mean, it was a long time ago. Um but there was one woman who had some issues with her spine, like spina bifida, and she was a grown woman, and sometimes it got bad and she stunk. Like she needed care and she needed, and people would be completely grossed out by it, and everybody would kind of like walk around the subject and not really like say it, and like I'm like, no, fuck that. Like this is not right. You guys are, because you're not comfortable, you're being inhumane to somebody in a roundabout way. Like what are you doing? So I went to her and I spoke to her, and it wasn't comfortable for her or for me to have to point out, like, you really don't smell well. Like you really don't. But what can we do? And it made her cry. And I remember her daughter got really upset and got upset with me. But by the end of the conversation, she said, "Thank you. Thank you for coming to me and telling me this." Because, like, what would you rather have? People running around behind your back saying all the, you know what I mean? Knowing that they're saying all these things to you? Or would you rather have someone come to you and have an uncomfortable conversation and have it with some dignity and let's figure out a solution to this? We need to find the things that make us uncomfortable and we need to approach them. We need to walk towards them. We need to stop running away from them. The things that make us uncomfortable are the things that we need to go after. Because until we go after them and change them and make a difference with them, then we're going to keep repeating the same thing. If we don't tackle the things that make us uncomfortable, then we're going to keep repeating the same things and we're going to get nowhere. Ignoring things does not make them go away.
And it's the true friend that will come up and tell you why everybody's laughing. You keep wondering every time you take a step, everybody's laughing at you. And then finally, one of your true friends will come up and say, "Bro, I guess there's gum or something on the bottom of your shoe and it's stuck to a long piece of toilet paper that you drug out of the bathroom. And every time you step, your toilet paper tail is flapping in the wind behind you." And everybody's laughing at you. And I had to come up and tell you. And so then you finally look down and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Well,
like you've
thanks
had
for
a booger
telling me.
hanging out of your nose all day and no one would tell you. And I overheard them tell you, like talking about it. So I came over here and I picked your freaking nose and I said, come on now.
Yeah,
Really? You've
pretty
had a
much.
snot hanging out of your nose all day. You've had something in your teeth all day, but no one could tell you. It is absolutely ridiculous because, you know, if I was in any of those situations, guess what? I'd want someone to come over and tell me. You know, like why is honesty such a thing that is not eh, you know, people would rather put their heads in the sand. Like the same thing with what we were, you know, when we were watching that Hal CIA guy earlier. It's like people, even if they are not, you know, they're not, even if they're not like they're a useful idiot, you know what I mean? Like they're just they might not be getting paid by the CIA, but because you know they're so propagandized that they just do what they would want them to do if they were getting paid,
You
right?
know,
So
I really
I
got to
mean,
say though, when I look in that room and I smell the cat and I smell the dog and I see the baby and I see the cross and the big wooden spoon on the wall and everything, and just pizza boxes and trash and just clutter and food everywhere and just everything is piled up. I just see suffering. I mean, I know that people are just. I've been there, and just such a mental state of depression that it just becomes like the inability to like hardly do anything. you know I mean, and then add into that, doesn't even necessarily have to be drug use or drug abuse involved. I mean, just depression alone can just immobilize people to where they're just no longer even able to function, and they just, I mean, their home place ends up looking like an episode of Hoarders or something, and they're not even on anything. They're just lay around and just fucking in bed like all day and night, just like fucking suicidally depressed to the point of just inability of peripatetic immobility. Like, I mean, it's suffering. It's suffering. That's why, when I say, I make these pizza deliveries and food deliveries, all these different places, and I see this and I see that. I don't say this or share this because I'm dishing on people. I'm not naming names or listing addresses.
oh
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
no.
this is from my experience, and I'm not saying it that I'm judging these people. What I'm picking up on the vibe is the common theme of suffering. Now, regardless of what socioeconomic category they're in, because I deliver to rich and poor alike, I get to the rich houses and the garage opens up and it's so full of clutter and everything, and it looks like an episode of Hoarders. And the garbage can is full of freaking wine bottles, and so I mean, everyone is suffering this mass psychosis and this fear hypnosis and constant waves of fear porn, month after month after month, now year after year, now 2 years running, has put such a mental stress and strain and toll on people.
Yeah,
And
like if
they're
they
all
didn't
trying
have
to cope. It's all different coping mechanisms, is what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah, it's showing the sickness of us. It's showing the sickness of our communities, of lack of mutual aid, lack of support, lack of hope. Like it
Yeah,
is showing the sickness of what we are all going through. And until we figure out a way to look at our neighbor and say, hey, you fucking stink. Fuck, you stink. Now let me help you so you can have dignity.
I just chuckled at Horty Unicorns. Know
I
what I was
know,
reading there?
right? When I was 31 when my parent, this is from comment here. I'm not saying this myself. I was 31. My parents finally told me I have Asperger's, which made a lot of sense. True story. They both scream at me every night from my deep freezer. Okay, I don't know what is true is or not trues in that, but Horny Unicorn, you have some funny shit that you say.
Well, we've just been hitting some major serious stuff here.
Oh no, I'll
No
have
stone
to
unturned.
right now. I can't hear Yona. I can't read the text. I'm too drunk. I can see and love, but man, I got nothing to give like this. I gotta go. Please understand, I'm working to make this all work. As
All right.
we love you, brother.
Love you, Oz.
We love you so very much, and we want you to be, in as good of a place as we can possibly do, and we can mutually support you from around the world. How amazing is that? Like the community that we have here, and just allowing anybody to come in and join us, and like to see all the sides of the people, like not just see the comments and all of that, like like this was inspired by all of us, and the mutual aid and the mutual love that we showed each other, and like being able to come together in such a dark time and build upon a community, like it's a really amazing thing. It's
Well, you
really
see, it's all part of, well, I don't think it's perchance myself.
no.
I like to think within the great mystery, great things are happening as they were foretold. And perhaps we're all just filling a role that's already been scripted and written out for us. I mean, I don't know. I'm not endorsing any particular thought. I'm just asking questions, and I let other people form their own answers to those questions. I just find it amazing, all the different little, just just on a whim. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go up this holler, and I go up that holler. I end up finding these feathers and those feathers, and I meet this friend, and this happens and that happens, and I mean, it's like butterfly effect type stuff of just all these random things, and yet in some they've gotten me to where I'm at today. And if I change any one of those things, it's like a Ashton
Good night,
Kutcher
y'all.
butterfly effect. Night night. So I wouldn't change a thing, and I'm excited to see what the new day will bring, because again, it's kind of like I'm on a roller coaster, and it's got pedals on it, and it's got a steering wheel on it, but I'm still on a roller coaster, right? And so really, there's a guy that's pushing buttons that's making the roller coaster go around the track, right? But I've got a steering wheel.
Sorry.
But I mean, you get what I'm saying, Lucky. It's like I've got this steering wheel, I've got these pedals, and I think I'm driving the thing, but I'm on a roller coaster, and there's a guy in the booth pushing the red button and the green button to make the ride go. And then when the ride's done, I just get off.
Horny Unicorn, we are.
Woohoo!
You're all fucking weirdos. You're a freaking weirdo with us, dude.
Ain't that it?
Hello. Welcome up from your nap. I hope you had a restful sleep. It's always so important, to get restful sleep. I'll get that like sleep where I don't get the deep sleep, and it's just so frustrating. And it's so frustrating when my insomnia gets so bad that like I want to sleep. Like I'm like, I want to sleep. I have everything in my body that I want to go to sleep, and I just will not be able to sleep. Or when I do, I'll lay there and I'm like between like a conscious and an unconscious state. Like I can still hear and observe everything that's going on around me, but I'm tired, right? So I'm like, I'm laying there. I want to go to sleep, but I am consciously, I can hear everything and remember everything.
Oh, I've been there. That's when you're too tired to fall asleep. Believe it or not, you know, I don't have to explain it to you.
Overtired.
When you're too tired to even fall asleep, but you're too tired to do anything else. So you just lay there and wish you could fall asleep. Too tired to fall asleep.
I was doing that one night. Like Steve was doing a stream. He thought I went upstairs to bed, but I was just sitting on the couch, and I was in like that state of mind, and it was really funny because he's like, "Oh, I thought you went upstairs." I'm like, "No, I've been here the whole time. I was in that state of mind, like, you know." And then
Ooh,
I
that's a
felt
scary
refreshed.
state of mind, though, because you can be in that state of mind when you're driving home from work, right?
Well,
At the end
I
of the
had my
night,
eyes
or
closed.
like anytime you're I just find it particularly if you're driving at night in the
Mhm.
dark, and sometimes you'll be going down the freeway, you'll be going down the road, and you're driving at night at dark, and you're kind of tired, but you're paying attention, but you're kind of getting close to that conscious unconscious line, and you're like, all of a sudden you look up, you're like, holy fuck balls, I missed my exit. I'm like 25 miles down the wrong. What the fuck? I don't even remember driving like the last 10, 15, 20 miles. I don't know how many miles up. I mean, last thing I remember was the McDonald's and that asshole that cut me off. And holy shit, whoa, here's my exit. Wow.
Or you
Oh my
get home and
God.
you're like, "Wait, how did I
How did I get
remember
here?
like getting here?" Oh my God, horny unicorn, you are so funny. Group hug, but don't fucking touch me. That's what we do here. We have a big group hug. Oh my goodness. Y'all like you guys are
I gotta say, the
seriously.
funniest thing about being high is coming out with your stuff from the store, and you're like,
What the
fuck,
fuck?
where did I park? Oh man. And you're like trying to remember so fucking hard. Okay, which door did I come in? Fuck, there's only one door. God damn, you look at the whole parking lot. Yeah, it was packed when I parked. Fuck. I'm down in the
Ooh.
middle somewhere. And then you're like, then you feel like a jackass because you're going up and down, row and row. Is it just me? Was it only the Yona that lost his car? Surely it's not. Surely it's not just been me. Oh, I get really high though. Yeah, anyways. I did find it finally. But to be fair, I'm like driving, a really common looking van, and everybody drives the same van. I was like, oh, there it is. No Dreamcatcher.
All right.
No,
Well,
there it is.
my van is very recognizable. My van is not a minivan. My van is a full size 1991 cargo van. Big Red
Wow.
is her name. She is
Well,
15 feet long. She's way taller than me. I have to jump up to get in my van. She's taller than most pickup trucks, and it's unless they're on a lift. Like, yeah, I drive a big ass van. So luckily, I don't lose the van a lot. But there was a time when Steve and I went to, I think it was Hartford. We were in Hartford, Connecticut. Or was it New Haven? No, it was Hartford. So we're like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm like, we're parked right in front of a Dunkin' Donuts. So we'll be fine. We're only going like a block or something down the road. We were going to a show. motherfucker, we lost the van. I was like, all right, well, let's look up freaking Dunkin' Donuts. Is all right? I'm like, let's find. There is one on like every freaking block.
Oh my God.
We're totally lost. We're like, spun out in the middle of the freaking city going, oh my God, where is the van? So I start freaking looking at like the Google images of the different freaking Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like sitting on the freaking sidewalk, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm feeling like, like, what the hell? Like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down right here and we're gonna figure this out. And we by a matter of like, elimination and knowing what was at least somewhat around us, we found the van. Yeah.
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah. Like in real life, like freaking we're like it's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like walking around and yeah, we could not find the van. And then I'm like, oh, there's like how many Dunkin' Donuts is around here? Oh, they were talking about muscle stuff. I wanted to bring this up. Magnesium, just like over the counter, magnesium, or you can get even freaking borax and stuff like that. You can get food grade. You can get food grade stuff to take. That is the best thing for your muscles and muscle spasms, restless leg. I actually took a pharmaceutical medicine once, like years ago, for something restless leg because I couldn't get any relief, and like it was like keeping me up. So I was like, all right, well, I asked my doctor, and of course they go to the pharma first. They don't go to like take something natural. No. So they tell me to take this thing. I take one pill. I was telling Charlie Brown this like yesterday morning when we were talking. I felt like my speech started to go slurred. Like it sounded like I was drunk after I took this thing. And I called the pharmacy and I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, my speech is slurred. Like I'm feeling like as I'm talking to them, my speech is slurring. And they're like, yeah, well, just don't take it again. I'm like, well, should I be going to the hospital? Like, what should I be doing? And they just like didn't give me any definite answer. So I'm like, freaking, my brain is all wonky and weird on this medicine, and I can't properly communicate. And this is from taking one. Like, I am so sensitive to things. Like, I get every side effect always. And so I I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm just going to lay down. I'm feeling really weird. Also, like, I'm feeling like neurologically, like fucking, and I'm feeling drunk and like just not okay. Like as if you were, like when you were like, if you were super, super sick, like fever sick.
Yeah.
And also drunk at the same time, like
and the head spin and the chills and all that, the hot flash, cold flash, head spin, chills, just
So I lay down and my body feels like it's just 1,000,000 pounds. Like I just can't move myself, right? And so like I become in this like weird, like paralyzed state, but I'm like still like awake. And I was with my ex and I'm like thinking like, oh my God, I can't even tell him that I need help because this medicine has me so messed up that I can't speak and now I can't move. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like completely aware, but I cannot communicate and I cannot move. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Like freaking out. And then like, so my body feels like it's just, the heaviest thing ever. but then I feel like I'm the size of my entire neighborhood, like the Marshmallow Man, like just really like just big and fluffy and weird, but feel really heavy and like in my body. Oh my God. It was the craziest thing. I never ended up going to the hospital. I couldn't even communicate it. I was stuck in that state of mind for quite some time and eventually went to sleep. But yeah, and people want me to go and get something and injecting it in my body, not happening. But yeah, after that, I obviously did not take it again. But yeah, they told me to take magnesium. How crazy is that? Take
Wow.
this medication, have that kind of reaction. How scary. You know what I mean? Thankfully, nothing else happened. And thankfully, I lived 3 minutes from a hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're having like muscle spasms and stuff like that, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give medical advice, but that was the medical advice I was given. And, maybe look into it, talk to somebody and medical professional, which I hate that people even say that because people there's no universal health care. So telling people to go to a doctor, you know how many people go to a pharmacist and ask the pharmacist questions? Because they don't know, they don't have access to a doctor.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of parts here in Appalachia. There ain't no doctor or pharmacist or nothing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I mean, it's in those areas where you see a whole lot more. Still, even to this day, the ongoing practice of homeopathy and naturopathy. So that's kind of a good thing, actually. Because I mean, again, a lot of the folks that are off grid living today, I wouldn't say that most of them here in Appalachia are doing it necessarily out of choice. It's just a result of abject poverty, you see. So, I mean, make no doubt about it. It is by no means a boast to speak of homes that have no wiring or plumbing.
Charlie Brown, did you get like the same thing that I got? Did you send me a virus through the computer? I love you, brother. I hope you are feeling better.
I am
Get some
absolutely
elderberries.
I'm absolutely completely starving to death. I worked well, I had a lunch hour, but I mean I didn't eat anything at lunch. I spent a birthday party with my friend Clayton there. And then I got home and was doing this and that and the other. So I still haven't eaten anything since I woke up this morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. And now it's almost 6 o'clock the next day. So it's like 21 hours without eating. That I'm getting into some fasting territory here, folks.
You are. And if you don't want to be in a fasting territory, you're not in that state of mind, then you should probably go eat something. I know I should probably get some, get
Well,
something
plus
light in,
this weed's giving me the munchies like a motherfucker. And now my stomach's literally like like you ever had your stomach like literally bark at you like a dog? Like, arr, arr. Whoa, what the fuck? I guess I need to eat something. You're like, did you hear that too? Yeah, it was my stomach. Oh my God.
That wasn't the chair making a mouse. I'll say that to Steve. Sometimes he's sitting over there. I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Is that chair squeaking on you? Oh my gosh. I just really want to make sure that everybody realizes how grateful I am for all of you. Really.
Well,
You
look,
guys have like kept me sane and gotten me through some of this craziness, like
I got the next
Holy
couple
shit,
days
yeah.
off, and it's a good thing apparently because now it's only about 3 hours and change, and the snow will be here. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
snow
you're gonna
again.
get it first.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nasty right through here. We're gonna see. Oh, we're gonna see.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're expecting. Like, in New England, you just gotta wait 5 minutes because the weather will change.
I mean, they keep saying like when you watch some of these guys like David Schlotthauer and Ryan Holiall, I mean, they're like, well, this is one model, this is the Euro model, and this is the GFS model, and this is this model, and that's that model, and they got all these different prediction models for snowfall amounts. So we'll see. We're definitely going to get snow. Is it going to be 3 inches? Is it going to be 6 inches? Is it going to be 9 inches? I just don't know.
We used to get so much snow. Like, I had a Subaru wagon, and my, Skylar, she was 6, and she would be able to stand in the snow next to the car and clean off the roof of the car. Right? Like, we had that much snow on the ground. Now, we've had a dusting a couple of times. Like, not even real, like it.
Oh, it's terrible. When I was growing up, winter in Kentucky began in November. And then you could maybe have your first snow before Thanksgiving. And then there was snow normally up through middle of March. Maybe the last snow would be around the 1st of April. That was it for the snow season. That's when I was growing up, going to grade school in, the early 1980s. Nice.
I was just showing
but in the 90s and then the 2000s, all of a sudden, this whole 60-degree weather through Christmas holiday season started to become like a regular thing. And now, all of a sudden, here I am up in, Huntington, where it's normally had harsher winters because of the mountains and everything else. And yet, really no snow to speak of whatsoever in November or December. And now all the snow is primarily in February and March. What snow there is. And other than like just a really bad freak snap storm, you don't see any consistent cold snap where it stays below freezing for like 2 to 3 to 4 weeks or 2 months. I mean, it used to be like that when I was a young kid, but you don't ever see a long duration cold snap freeze anymore. It's weird. It's just like, and it's not like it's always hotter. I mean, we've had colder cold snaps than I can remember, but it's just like the weather. If it was a pendulum or something, there's more swing to the pendulum, and the colds are getting colder and the hots are getting hotter. The tornadoes are getting more tornado-y. The hurricanes are getting more hurricane-ier, if that's such a word. It's, you know what I mean? It's just like everything is intensifying.
And the extreme weather is happening more extreme everywhere simultaneously, but they're not sharing all of that weather everywhere. They're like, oh yeah, this thing happened over here. It was a freak storm. But at the same time, there's a freak storm happening in every freaking state, but they're like, oh, this one freak storm. Oh, we're just going to cover this one part. We're going to make you think that, this area over here too.
That's like the rare athlete dropping on the field in the middle of play, like the other 500 rare athletes dropping in the field in the last 2 months, because that's never been a thing before. Normally, athletes performing whatever sport on public television, these people are in the top physical shape of their lives. I mean, they're specimens of human, fitness. and yet they're all dry. As soon as they all get jabbed, they're all just dropping like flies, clutching their chests as they drop to the field. Oftentimes, there's nobody even around them, whether it's football or basketball or soccer or whatever. It's crazy. Never seen anything like it before. Well, I love you guys. Luckily I'm off the next few days, so we'll be able to, you're not going to have to wait long to get more dosage of Yona. But I'm going to get some dosage of food and some of my meds and everything else here I got ready to take. I got all my pills lined up and stuff. So with that, I'm going to sign off and wish everyone strength, love, courage, and blessings. It's going to get a little bit uglier before it gets prettier, but it's going to be so beautiful. It's beyond words. So
Make
it's
good
closer by
choices,
the day.
fam. Make good choices, and
It's closer
please
by
spread
the
the
day.
love, the mutual aid.
Love you guys. Take care.
Namaste,
Don't let go, huh?
fam.